if the crop circle comes down early in the season, sometimes the seed heads will not germinate at all. If it comes down late, sometimes you see this, increased growth. In a germination chamber, the control outside, at the edge, at the center, much increased growth. And why might that be? Because you also see cellular changes. Inside the seed head, there's like, basically holes or expansions in a certain part of the cell. So more energy can pass through it.
Inconceivable.
So I've been to a few awesome crop circles. This one was my first. Sorry, video people, I'm going to just move a little bit. So this, luckily, was my first. And I actually had my tickets to England booked, and my phone started ringing, and this is on CNN, if you can believe it. And it was on CNN in the best way you could possibly imagine, because this was so crazy. This is 1,000 feet across. 409 circles, perfect fractal geometry, came down on a night of a thunderstorm. Okay, no muddy boot prints. It took experienced crop circles researchers half an hour to find the center on the ground. This was on CNN, and I can remember that morning because my phone was ringing and I was already booked to go. And the people on CNN were just like, whoa, crazy. Like they were not scripted at all, and then you never heard anything about it again. I really want that tape. So this gives you the Milk Hill region with the white horses that are quite common. That one's probably not ancient. It's probably only a couple hundred years old, but that gives you the lay of the land. That's a helicopter down there, just to give you the scope. See that little blue dot? That's a helicopter. There's a person in it. I mean, it was huge. That could be me. Probably not. So you see, one of the things in crop circles that you experience is electromagnetic effects, and people have been reporting this. In chapter 2 of the book, I get into the history, but in chapter 1, I talk about the history of things like this with electromagnetic reports from farmers and kids who grow up on farms, even in the 20s, 30s, saying, oh, it was so, I put my jackknife in the middle of it and it just stood there, Very powerful effects. Pilots talk about not wanting to fly over them. There's this case here is from Manitoba, Canada, in the 70s, where people found a crop circle and they went out and the Geiger counter just went off the chart. They came back 2 weeks later with a provincial geologist and still found higher levels of readings. And stories of batteries draining and all that are throughout the crop circle literature. So believe it or not, after that humongous, beautiful Milk Hill one that I went to and was lucky enough, I came back to Saskatchewan, and my friend who's the Canadian Crop Circle Research Director called me and said, well, there's a whole bunch in Estevan, fly out there and go check them out. So I rented a car, and this one, I had my personal best crop circle experience in this humble, kind of goddess-looking symbol. And just walking this all by myself, no one in there, 3 or 4 days old, 3 or 4 people had been in it, and that energy was so palpable. I walked the lay, following the lay, and I became profoundly disoriented and did not know where my car was. And, I'm the person who, after 50 dead shows, takes everybody and gets them the car. So I don't get disoriented. And yeah, in this I had a very palpable feeling in my body of the energy.